Boy, all right, guys. I'm not on the air right now. I'll be on the air in about 4 minutes. It's just a technical disaster today. Just a technical disaster beyond imagination. Oh, I tell you, this is rough. Hey, guys. How's the audio? How's the picture? Let me go turn that light off behind me. Be right back. Be right back. How's the audio there in the picture? Is it all right? Because I am using my iPad. I usually use my phone. Great. Is it the same as it normally is? I know it's a different angle. So, what's going on is freaking insane. Okay, the phones aren't working. The audio is muffled. I'm probably further away than I normally would be. Let me check it out here. I don't even want to go on the air. It's fine. The phones, for whatever reason, are having technical difficulties and not working. And I realized real quick when I came on the air. Hold on. One, two. 1, 2. How does this sound? How does this sound? Sounds okay. Sounds okay. Okay. I'm a little further away. Well, it's temporary. No, the phones aren't working. So, I can't take calls on our regular phone line. So what I have done is switch the phones. I forwarded the phone up to my cell phone. Okay, this is the radio station. So I forwarded the call-in number, I'm talking to the radio station, to my cell phone. So I am going to take calls on the air over my cell phone and hold my phone up to the mic. Because for whatever reason, the phones aren't working. Okay, hold on. Again.
6.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Frank, the owner of Ace.
Okay, now I gotta make sure they've switched over. How's the audio sound? Am I okay?
Protected during the coronavirus pandemic, and has an incredible offer for listeners of the Steve Green Show.
We get products continually coming in during.
Yeah, this is my iPad I'm using.
Everybody's looking for face masks, so the best thing that we
Frank,
can.
the owner of Ace.
Okay. We are back.
Cover your face, though. We've got to supply a bandana.
Steve Kane Show.
I love every one of your customers that come in a free.
Not right now. Call back in a little bit, okay? I'm not taking any calls right now.
Bandanas are face covering that cities are going to require as we start to go back to work and get
I know
out.
it's
That
a
everybody's
disaster.
required to have their face
It's a
covered. So
disaster.
you can use this bandana to cover your mouth and your nose and protect you and protect all those around you. The other thing is, while you're at home, why don't you get that honeydew list done? It's that painting project or sprinkler supply, or maybe treat yourself to a new grill.
Wow, what a great deal. These bandanas are reusable because you can wash
How's the
them.
picture?
So stop into Ace Hardware in Deerfield, just south of Hillsborough Boulevard, on the west side of US 1. And beat
It's a
Ace
little
Hardware
further from me than
at
normal because I usually have my
222
phone right
Boulevard,
here.
Lauderdale by the
So.
Sea, and get your free bandana.
Good. The
with
sound's
Ace
fine?
Hardware.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone,
I'm
someone
beyond
suffers an overdose
flustered.
every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or
But
some
the show
other
must go
prescription
on.
medication that's as close
And I don't know
as
when the phones will be
family
back, 'cause
medicine cabinet. In fact, Mom and Dad's medicine cabinet
seems to be a
is
pretty big
frequently
problem.
the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my
It'll
good
only
friend
make a
Sal at
difference
the
with
Edge
the
Recovery,
phone calls.
561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment.
It's
covered by
frustrating
most insurance,
beyond
but no matter what
imagination.
your
It really is.
situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for
So is the
you.
sound okay?
Call
Can you guys hear
Sal
me
at
all
the
right?
Edge Recovery, do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
The Steve King Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry
But no matter
Siegel at the Siegel Law.
Here we go.
Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel
Sound
Law
is muffled.
9 offices.
You know why? I know what I gotta do. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me take it out of the car. Okay. Is that sound better? I just took it out of the cover.
Is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Does it sound better now?
You are listening to South Florida's longest running
Is it
radio
better
show,
though?
The
Because I just took it out of the
Steve Show.
case.
You call the show toll
Which probably
free.
was covering the mic.
888 go gain 1. That's 1-888 go gain.
Much better?
1. And now,
Oh, my
here's
goodness.
Steve Kane.
All right, we are live. It is Thursday. It is the 16th. Oh my goodness. I tell you, if you guys only knew what I went through here, it is the 16th of April 2020. We are here live. I went on live at 6. Had something happen, which I'll tell you about. I'm not going to whine about it for the whole show, but I want to tell you guys what's going on. If you watch on YouTube Live, you know. But had a major technical difficulty. First off, I'm here alone by myself today, so when there's a technical problem, I'm like, you know. The phone system in our building is going through some huge snafu. And what that is exactly, I don't know. And I realized about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes into the show this morning that there was something wrong with the phone system. And our phone system is not operating. So to do a talk show when the phone system is not operating is a little difficult. I mean, I can talk all day without taking phone calls. But who wants to do that? Plus, we have our live call-in commercials. So I got to find out what's going on. So I went through a bunch of things trying to figure out what's going on with the phone. I basically was trying to figure out what wasn't going on with our phone system that was wrong. And I had to call the person that runs the operations manager for our building where we broadcast from and ask them if there was any difficulties they knew about with the phones. They said no, so they're going to be looking into that today. So what I did, we had to do this before. When we built this new studio, we had to do this. We had to do this for weeks, and we may have to do this for the foreseeable future again, because in this day and age, getting an issue like this fixed is not easy as it was a month or two ago, if you know what I mean. There's a pandemic going on in America. But what I've done is our toll-free line, 888-GO-CANE-1, I have forwarded to my iPhone 11 Pro, my cell phone. So when I take calls, I will hold the phone up to the microphone, and you'll be able to hear it that way. So you can call in. The phone, the same number, 888-GO-CANE-1, it will ring directly to my cell phone now. And again, I'll just hold up to the mic. If you watch on YouTube Live, you'll get to see me do this. And I know it looks a little amateur hour, but you got to do what you got to do. Show must go on. It's very frustrating, I tell you. I didn't really feel like dealing. I felt like when I realized what the problem was, I felt like just going home. Just going home. But then I just have to deal with the problem later. So I started dealing with it now, and then when the show's over, I'm going to go home and crack open a six-pack and just forget about it till tomorrow. But for the most part, it'll be all the same, except since I'm forwarding the calls to my phone, that means I can only take one call at a time. So when somebody's on the air, I can't put people on hold. So instead of having multiple lines like we do, all going straight to my cell phone, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. So I've been dealing with that for the past, 40 or 50 minutes. Very aggravating, I got to tell you. Things like this have happened before, and it happens at all radio stations. From time to time, there's always technical snafus, but we got to find out what the problem is, then we got to find out the right person to fix it. This could take a couple of weeks, so we may be without our regular phone system for quite a while now because of the situation with coronavirus. But as I always say, the show must go on, and go on it will. Where exactly, I don't know, because I'm a little off, because I've been focusing on these other things. Oh my goodness. But again, I can't take calls. It'll just be over my phone. 888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631 is the number. 888-465-2631. And boom, if you're on YouTube, you'll get to see it in action right now, and the call will be live. Steve Kane Show, you're on the radio.
Hey, Bart, it's Mike and Boca.
Hey, Mike and Boca, see, it works. I got you. You're on my iPhone. I've got the iPhone on speaker, and I've got it up to my microphone. This works. Hey, Michael, what's going on?
You said before your show had a meltdown, you said about you went to Walmart. Did you go to the Walmart in Boca? Did you go to one in Coconut Creek?
I went to, I guess it would technically probably be Coconut Creek. Hillsboro and 441 I went to yesterday.
Yeah, okay. All right. I was just wondering.
Why, you on a toilet paper search?
How were they, I gave up. We have enough.
Yeah, got enough.
She gets talking when she goes out.
Yeah.
Anyways, how were they doing the social distancing inside the store? Were they limiting people going inside, or
They weren't. They were limiting what entrances you could go in. They didn't have all the entrances open. They didn't have all the exits open. Are you okay? You're coughing there. You don't have the coronavirus. Have you been tested?
Yeah, the air conditioner's sitting right in my face.
That's these days, if you cough and clear your throat, you got to go get tested.
I know.
You better not do that around other people.
I'm waiting for the antibodies to come out. I want to do that though.
Well, you'll be waiting for a long time for the vaccine or whatever the hell they call it. No, they have they control what door you go in, what door you exit from, and then they have stickers all over the floors in the place, so you're 6 feet away from the person in front of you. But it's what it is. It's what it is. What are you gonna do? It's a new world.
And, so the end of the year is going to be Chris Cuomo. Did you hear what happened to him now?
Well, what is the new thing with Chris Cuomo? Well, yesterday I was talking about how he got caught breaking quarantine, and now his wife has the coronavirus.
His wife has it now.
Yeah, courtesy of him.
What an embarrassment that is what an embarrassment that is going to be for his brother today. Because someone's going to ask him about it.
Well, he
just might talk about it.
Well, last night, Governor Cuomo went on his brother Fredo's television show, and they talked about it. And Governor Cuomo was not nice to his brother. I'm going to play it after the first break of the hour. This little
a bit of it. Nice to meet her, so.
Yeah.
So there's kids. I mean, the whole thing is, I don't get it. He was allegedly supposed to be locked up in the basement,
Mm-hmm.
and yet he's out on the weekend, which the whole thing is crazy. I mean,
Well, to me, okay, now this is there's a big mystery. There's a lot going on with Chris Cuomo. One, there are only two people at
he's
CNN.
really milking the crap out of this.
Well, sure. There's only two people that I know of at CNN that have tested positive for coronavirus. Chris Cuomo and Brooke Baldwin.
And the hot chick.
Yeah, I don't know if she's hot, but she's
She's hot enough.
nah, whatever. Brooke Baldwin. So why are these two the only two that have it at CNN? I'm sure a lot of people would want to know. And then I had that story yesterday where he was caught Easter Sunday out in the Hamptons with his whole family breaking quarantine. And a police report was filed due to the altercation. So, and now his wife has the coronavirus. So, here you got Governor Cuomo, who's driving the whole news cycle. Here you have Governor Cuomo's own family have broken quarantine, broken social distancing guidelines, broken isolation guidelines in New York, and he's got his brother spreading the coronavirus to other people. And this is who the Democrats think should be the president? They call him President Cuomo? He can't even keep his own family in check during this crisis in New York. You're going to put the whole country into this guy?
What an embarrassment. I mean, geez, come on.
I would say it was an embarrassment if I wasn't talking to a caller on the radio over my cell phone, which is also an embarrassment. But it's working. You can hear me all right, can't you?
It works pretty good. I don't hear all the background or the good.
Yeah, it works good. I mean, if you're watching on YouTube Live, it looks ridiculous, and I can only take one call at a time.
All right, take care.
All right, take care. These things, I'll get into the Chris Andrew Cuomo thing after the break. All these little things, the way radio is supposed to work is not how it works anymore, okay? When radio is supposed to be all about the imagination. And you're not supposed to see the people on the air. You're not supposed to see the studio. Before the internet, forget about live streaming. Before the internet, most of the time, you had no idea what the people on the radio stations look like and what the facilities look like. Certainly, sometimes you would know who the personalities were if they were like a famous person, but most people on radio stations are not, so you wouldn't know what they look like. You wouldn't know what the studios look like. And radio was all about the imagination. And then with the internet, that started to change. And with live streaming, we've been live streaming for, I don't know, 5-6 years now. I don't know how long. When did I start doing Periscope? I did some things before Periscope too. But I think we've been live streaming for 5-6 years now, regularly, daily, on one live stream platform or another. And a lot of these things, if you were just listening in the past, you would never know about. Like this technical issue I have with our phone system, you would never know about it. You'd never know about it before. But I got to tell you, the reason I tell you now is because people are watching on the live stream. So I feel like I should tell you. But there's something to be missed about the mystery of the radio, isn't it? I kind of miss it a little bit, quite frankly. Listen, I'm going to take our break, first break of the second hour. I'm going to regroup, no more whining, and get right into the issues. And I think I'll get into this Chris Andrew Cuomo thing first, and then we'll jump into some other issues. All right, my name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. All right, let's take that break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Many people are suffering with depression, anxiety, addiction, trauma, loneliness, low self-esteem, and problems with intimacy. Day and night, they struggle to make it through. If you're feeling overwhelmed, confused, frustrated, lost, and fear never being able to find satisfaction in your intimate relationships,
Yeah, what's up?
It's time to be proactive. Call me. Let's talk. I am Dr. Janae Lomaski, a licensed
What problem?
psychologist.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can reach me at 561-777-2021.
Well, I mean, you can't.
That's 561.
I mean, is that the problem?
2021. Or you can find my number at
Well, then go. I got
stevekaneshowtime.com.
other problems to worry about. I can't. I mean, the phones aren't working here.
Stop painting on
Our
me.
call-ins. I'm not. It's 7:30 almost. I mean, I can't worry about that right now. I can't work. It's 7:15. The phones aren't working in the radio studio. So I can't worry about all that stuff. I'm doing what I did before. I'm taking calls over my cell phone. I'll call you when I get off the air.
Tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection.
So you get all the
of used
behind the
tires,
scenes.
too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly.
You can hear my
Mike at
frustration.
Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for...
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Yeah, so Chris Cuomo and Andrew Cuomo, these guys are just a train wreck of a family. You know, it's almost like watching a reality show. The Cuomo brothers, it's like watching a reality show. And, you know, for a reality show or any type of television or movie to be interesting, there's got to be dysfunction and conflict. And with the Cuomo brothers, you have both. Right? You have conflict because they hate each other. And you've got a lot of dysfunction. And, you know, the past 2 weeks with Chris Cuomo on CNN, Chris Cuomo, in my opinion, should be removed from television. He should be removed from CNN because of what he did on Easter Sunday. Now, just recap, and then I'll get into the new update. But, you know, he went out and got the coronavirus, and he was supposed to be in isolation in the basement of his home where he does his show live, right? That's the story. Well, he broke quarantine. He's still sick. Now his wife's sick, but he broke quarantine. I went through all this yesterday, so I'll just give you the Reader's Digest. And he went out to the Hamptons at the construction site of his new Hamptons mansion, and a resident was riding his bike by, saw Chris Cuomo, and got upset that he's running around the Hamptons with the coronavirus, and he was with his wife, 2 children, and another woman. And there was a confrontation between the local resident on the bicycle, Chris Cuomo's wife, and Chris Cuomo. And the guy filed a police report. And I was talking yesterday, how did he get out to the Hamptons? Did he ride with his wife and kids and this other lady in the same vehicle? Did he take a separate vehicle? Well, now we know that his wife has the coronavirus. This guy, Chris Cuomo, is as irresponsible as Hunter Biden is, quite frankly. And him doing this show from the basement is fake news. Fake news. And last night he had his brother Governor Cuomo on, that the Democrats want to be the president one day. And let me just play a little bit. This is Chris Cuomo, his brother Governor Cuomo on CNN, on Cuomo Primetime, or whatever the heck they call that show last night.
Christina now has COVID. She is now positive. And it just breaks my heart. It is the one thing I was hoping wouldn't happen, and now it has.
Yeah, well, look, it's something we talked about, right, when this first started. It's very hard for a person to quarantine in a home and other people not to get infected.
Yeah, especially when they don't quarantine and they're heading off to the Hamptons together on Easter Sunday, right, Governor?
That's why we talked about people who quarantine in hotels. They quarantine in a hotel room. The food for 14 days, the food that comes in, they don't even take the plates out for 14 days. I mean, you want to talk about intense quarantine, right? But to do it in a home where a person's bringing you dishes, bringing you food, even if they're wearing a mask and gloves, you know, that virus can live on some surfaces up to 2 days.
Yeah, and it can work wonders when you travel in a vehicle together, probably, to the Hamptons on Easter Sunday when you were breaking quarantine, right, Governor?
So in some ways...
Now watch him take a jab at his brother at the end.
Luckily, it was Christina, not one of the kids. Now, this is what families are dealing with, right? The point of you communicating this, rather than just taking a couple of weeks off, is you're communicating to Americans what this is like. And by the way, this is what it's like. One person gets the virus, other people in the home get the virus. You now have a mother and a father with the virus. You have 3 kids that you have to take care of. This gets very complicated very fast. So there is a reality to this. The good news is, look, to the extent you think maybe Christina's going to blame you for this, there's a lot of other things, as we know, she can blame you for. So this is going to be number 17 on the list.
That's true.
So I wouldn't worry about that.
Wow, what's Governor Cuomo talking about? There are 16 things. There are 16 things that his wife, that Chris Cuomo's wife, can be more angry at him about than giving her the coronavirus. What the hell are these 16 things? Do any of them involve anybody else getting the coronavirus? Like Brooke Baldwin? I don't know. What are these other 16 things that are worse than giving his wife the coronavirus, Governor Cuomo? I would like to know. And you know, he's serious. He's so pissed off at his brother. You know, Governor Cuomo is pissed off at his brother. He's embarrassed by his brother. You know, Governor Cuomo believes, and there's some truth to this, that this is his time. Their father, Mario Cuomo, who was the governor of New York, always had a fantasy of being president of the United States, and he couldn't even get the nomination. Hold on, Jeffy. I'll get to you. Hold on. Turn the volume down, Jeff, okay? I'm going to turn the volume down here so I have to hear you. I'll take your call. I'm not talking to you yet, Jeff. Mario Cuomo wanted nothing but to be the president of the United States, and he could never get it. It was never his time. Now Governor Cuomo today, Andrew Cuomo, thinks it is his time. He holds court every day with this daily televised national press conference. His state is ground zero for COVID-19 in America. And then he's got his little punk brother who is going out getting coronavirus, giving it to others, and he's on national television every night, and everybody knows what's going on. So Governor Cuomo believes that Fredo here, his little brother, is totally screwing him over and taking the Cuomo family dream of making it to the Oval Office away because he's a punk, stupid, spoiled little brat. If you don't think that this is like incredible drama going on behind the scenes, you're in incredible denial. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine what happened when Governor Cuomo found out that his brother gave coronavirus to his wife and that he broke quarantine and went out to the Hamptons with the whole family over the weekend on Easter Sunday? Oh my goodness. All right, Jeff, you're on the air.
Good morning. I watch the press conference every day. I knew somebody would ask Trump a question. He totally dodged. I'm going to ask you the question. Why is his name on the checks that are going out to help people?
Because he's the president and he signs the checks?
No, he doesn't. That's not
yeah, well, he doesn't physically sign them. It's done by a computer printer.
Why is his name on there?
Because he's the president.
Any other reason than a political advertisement?
Because he's a president. Are you drunk? You're slurring your words. He's the president. It is the answer. He's the... You can hear me, right? Can you hear me on that? You can hear me on my iPhone 11 Pro, right? You can hear me.
You're saying because he's the president.
Yes.
That's not an answer.
That is an answer. It's just not the answer you... What answer do you want me to give?
Because he's just trying to politicize it in a campaign by doing that. So people say, oh my God, Donald Trump sent me this check.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this about the check. I'll tell you this about the check with Donald Trump's signature on it. Those checks coming out for $1,200, one day they'll be worth more than $1,200. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it would be like in 50 years or 100 years to have a check for the coronavirus COVID-19 stimulus signed by Donald Trump that was uncashed? Oh my goodness. Even though it's a printed out computer signature, that's a collector's item. But I think everyone's going to cash the checks and not have them to keep as a collector's item. If it was a smaller check, it'd be worth keeping. Like if it was a $50 check or a $100 check, it would be worth keeping and leaving to the family. Because down the road, it would be worth some money. Because everyone that gets a check is going to cash it. Now, so far as the signature thing, I don't know if Donald Trump was personally involved in the signature thing. So what? They said it didn't hold it up. I kind of like the idea of, I have not gotten a check. I know people were calling me in my family yesterday. My mother got, well, they do direct deposits. So my mother got her money in the bank. My mother-in-law got the money in the bank. I talked to a couple, people were calling me. I got my stimulus money yesterday. Did any of you get calls from friends and family telling you that they got their stimulus check yesterday? I had several of those calls. My wife did too. I didn't get anything. Is there anybody else out there who has not received? Or am I the only one who's not received the check? But no, I wish that I could. And, you know, celebrity signed checks are collector's items, even when they've been used. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I'd love to have a real check signed by President Trump. It'd be worth a lot more than $1,200, maybe even today, if it was a real signature. I don't know. You know, I really do think, though, that we are over the hump of COVID-19 in this country. And I'll tell you why I believe that. Not because of the data of those who have been infected from the latest testing, but from what people are doing now. Today, they're upset that the president's signature is going to be on the check. Have you ever heard someone complain that a signature is on a check of the president of the United States? I've never heard such a complaint, but they're complaining about that. They were turning this into a race thing 2 days ago, that African Americans are being impacted at a greater rate than white people. I don't know. So when they start playing the race card and they start getting upset about President Trump's signature being on the check, they're on the check because he's the Presidente de Estados Unidos, okay? I think we're getting beyond over that hump, because if we were still, if people are still in their head in a crisis mode, are they worried about whose signature is on the check? Are they playing the race card? These are things people do when they got nothing else to gripe about, and they're stretching for things to gripe about, right? But you know, Democrats always play the race card. After 9/11, the race card was played by the Black Firefighters Union. Remember this? At Ground Zero, the Black Firefighters Union marched on Ground Zero during the cleanup in protest. They were run off. There was a debate. They were building a monument of the flag raising on the rubble of Ground Zero, and the Black Firefighters Union was upset that there was not a black firefighter in the sculpture. Well, the reason there wasn't a black firefighter in the sculpture is because the sculpture was depicting a real event that we all watched on television, and the guys that lifted up the flag were white firefighters. And the Black Firefighters Union marched on Ground Zero protesting this, and they ran them off in about 2 minutes. It was live on television. It was insane, and they didn't protest anymore. But when, you know, so Democrats are always playing the race card. This is what they do. And now over the signatures, I think we can comfortably say we are over the hump, right? Don't you guys think we can comfortably say that? I tell you another thing we can comfortably say, that with a MyPillow, you'll get the most comfortable night's sleep you've ever had. I've been sleeping on a MyPillow for 16 months now, because I got it for Christmas, not this Christmas, but the one before, and it's April. And let me pull up what the current specials are, because there's two I want to tell you about, because, you know, Mother's Day is right around the corner, and there's two MyPillow specials that I think are particularly great for Mother's Day, okay? I got my mom a MyPillow for Mother's Day last year, and I'll tell you this. Out of all the years that I've been buying Mother's Day gifts, I think the only one my mom remembers and the only one I remember is the MyPillow that I got my mom last year. And what had happened was my mother was over at the house. She stayed the night. I can't remember what it was for, but she stayed the night one weekend. And she slept on a MyPillow. She slept on a MyPillow, and the next day she says, wow, those MyPillows are great. I said, yeah, they are. So we got her one for Mother's Day, and she loves it. She talks to me about it all the time. Get mom a gift that she will remember. Even jewelry, chocolates, they're going to, come on. Boring. Get your mom a MyPillow. And if you can't see her because of the social distancing, have it shipped directly to her house. She'll love you for it. And it's, these My Pillows come with a 10-year warranty. Can you imagine that? A 10-year warranty on a pillow. They come with it. It's absolutely amazing. And when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com, not only do you can find incredible deals, you find a great deal for Mother's Day. Buy one My Pillow, get the second one for free. Buy one, get one free. It's at the top right of mypillow.com right now. But you got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Another great special there is, you'll see this too, but the buy one, get one free offer for the My Pillow American Flag pillow. Use the promo code KANE. I got a couple of these coming myself. Buy one, get one free and free shipping for the American Flag pillow. We're going to put them on the couch. But you got to use the promo code KANE at checkout. K-A-N-E. I promise you, you get your mom that buy one, get one free My Pillow, she's going to love it. And she'll tell you about it next year and the year after that and the year after that. It will be a Mother's Day gift that mom will remember. Again, mypillow.com. Use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Get 2 My Pillows for the price of one. It's a BOGO offer. And the American Flag My Pillow, you'll see there as well. Buy one, get one of those free, and that comes with free shipping. But you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. All right, we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
95.3.
No, I don't smoke weed or anything else.
103.9 FM and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Frank, the owner of Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, wants you and your family to be protected during the coronavirus pandemic and has an incredible offer for listeners of the Steve Kane Show.
We get products continually coming in during after the week. We get disinfectants, bleach, gloves, cleaning supplies. Everybody's looking for face masks. So the best thing that we came up with was a face covering. A lot of the cities are going to ask you to cover your face. So we've got a supply of bandanas. I'd love if every one of your customers that come in a free bandana just for mentioning the Steve Kane Show. The bandanas are face covering, and the cities are going to require, as we start to go back to work and get out, that everybody's required to have their face covered. So you can use this bandana to cover your mouth and your nose and to protect you and protect all those around you. The other thing is, while you're at home, why don't you get that honeydew list done? It's that painting project or sprinkler supply, or maybe treat yourself to a new grill.
Wow, what a great deal. These bandanas are reusable because you can wash them. So stop into Ace Hardware in Deerfield, just south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of US 1, and Beach Ace Hardware, located at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, and get your free bandana from Ace Hardware.
This is
How's the audio, guys? Can you guys hear me all right? Because I'm using my iPad. I usually use my iPhone. Great. Which one is that? Is that the one just north of Sample on University that's a grocery store? On the west side of University, north of Sample? Wiles at University? Yeah, it's right down the street. All right. Welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. I'll go through this again before I get to some new audio sound bites, because I was not on live for the whole 6 o'clock hour, and I told this story right at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. I was at Bank of America yesterday inside the lobby, and they had an armed guard maintaining the social distancing guidelines. And a gentleman violated the social distancing guidelines And the armed security guard approached the man, put his hand up in the stop motion and said, "Sir, you are violating the social distancing guidelines. Stand back 6 feet." And the guy didn't stop. And he kept walking. "I just got a question." And he's walking by all these people. He had a mask on, like everybody. "I got a question. I just got a question. Get back, get back, get back." It was out of control. It was out of control. I don't know if we had an overly panicked armed security guard or if this is bank policy. Hold on a second. I got to take care of this one here. Boom. Okay. But just very strange. Have any of you seen any reaction to the? And I couldn't believe. First, I've been going to this bank for many years. They never have an armed guard in the lobby of this bank. It was the first time I've ever seen an armed guard in the lobby of the bank. And I noticed a lot of the bank was packed. Everybody with 6 feet distancing, but the line was all the way to the door, and there were a lot of people in there. Oh, man, I tell you. Okay, now, do you guys know who Stephanie Ruhle is over on MSNBC? Stephanie Ruhle, I don't like MSNBC. I don't watch MSNBC. I do watch CNN, Fox, One American News, but I cannot stomach MSNBC. I just can't stomach it. I really can't. And whenever you hear me play something from MSNBC, I have not watched it. It's a clip I picked up offline. I might have seen it on Twitter or somewhere. I heard about it and went and got it. I can't stand the personalities on MSNBC. I just can't stand them. And I don't... CNN, I'm not saying I like them on CNN, but I can tolerate them on CNN. See, there's a difference. I can tolerate them on CNN. I cannot tolerate them, the people on MSNBC. They are just terrible people. Terrible people. They really are. But Stephanie Ruhle, I don't know too much about her other than she's a liberal, right? Not very pleasant and says crazy things, like the clip I'm going to play for you. She suggests that Joe Biden do something that is very strange, which I'll play for you in a second. But to me, I don't know if she smokes or not, but she looks like someone who smokes about 5 packs a day to me. The way that her, because I'm not a smoker, I've never been a smoker, which is really amazing because all my grandparents smoked, my parents smoked, my step-parents smoked. Everyone that was an adult in my life when I was growing up, when I was a kid, all smoked, and I never smoked. I don't know why. Not that I didn't try it. I tried it. I think everybody tries it, but I never was a smoker. But there's something about smokers. When they get to be 35 and above, if they have a serious habit, it affects their skin. Their skin coloration changes. They get kind of leathery. So I don't know. Stephanie Ruhle looks like, I don't know that she smokes or not, but she looks like she smokes 5-6 packs a day. So she's a big supporter of Joe Biden becoming president, which is really goes to her credibility. Even if I were a liberal Democrat, he was the presumed nominee, I would be very upset, wouldn't you? Come on. Joe Biden doesn't even, when you are suffering from dementia and you go and have a doctor's appointment with your doctor who's overseeing your dementia issues, they'll ask you questions. And the first question they ask oftentimes, if not the first, one of the first questions they always ask people suffering from dementia is, do you know what it is? It's one of the first questions, if not the first question that is asked. And I know because I had a grandparent with Alzheimer's, and they would go to the doctor, and they would ask this question all the time, and they would get it wrong. And the question is, who's the president of the United States? Who's the president? And typically, they'll tell you not the name of the current president, but the president prior or maybe a couple of presidents ago. And then you'll say, no. And they'll be like, okay, oh yeah, I forgot. But that's one of the first questions that you ask people. And I don't make fun of Joe Biden, and I will not make fun of Joe Biden. To me, Joe Biden is sad. He's suffering from some age-related dementia issues. And shame on his family for putting him out there like that. Shame on them. They're corrupt people. We know the Hunter stories. So, they're thinking about if he becomes president, oh boy, the money's really going to start rolling in. Like they need more of it with all these shady deals they've got going on. But it's really, it's a shame, and it's elder abuse. It's elder abuse what they're doing to Joe Biden. No ifs, ands, or buts. It is elder abuse. And I'm not going to make fun of him. I've had people in my family that had Alzheimer's, other dementia-related issues, and it is not funny. And I don't appreciate people making fun of it. Rarely have you ever even heard me play a clip. Like he made a mistake yesterday, COVID-19, he called it COVID-9 or something. You know, and we can play clips like that almost every day because every time he talks, he does something like this and laugh, ha ha ha. But I don't find it funny. And Joe Biden has always been a jerk. I always thought he was a sleazy guy, even when he was young in his prime. And, you know, because Joe Biden's been around my whole life, I always thought he was a sleazy, nasty guy. But I've got reason, you know, I respect the fact that he was vice president of the United States and a United States senator, and he's a fellow human being, and I don't make fun of people that have a condition. It'd be like making fun of someone because they're confined to a wheelchair or something. It's not funny. It is not funny. And I wish that somebody in his family had some decency and would get him the hell out of the race. Because it's only going to get worse. These interviews that he is doing, when he's not even out on a campaign trail working, and he's making the mistakes. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when the campaign heats up? And it will. He'll have to do a debate of some sort with President Trump. And it could get pretty hairy out there. So anyway, Stephanie Ruhle had some jerk on, and they're talking about, of course, the incompetence of Trump. I think what Trump has done. Now, look at this. We now have so many extra ventilators. Governor Cuomo in New York is giving ventilators away. It just seems like a few days ago he was whining that he didn't have enough ventilators, and now he's giving ventilators away to other states. So, where's this clip? So this is Stephanie Ruhle of MSNBC, and she has a suggestion that she thinks Joe Biden should take. Listen to this. Wow. Okay. So, wow. Treason much? So she wants the former vice president of the United States to pull an Andrew Johnson. Or no, wasn't it? Which one was it? Was it Andrew Johnson? There was a vice president in the 1800s who started to organize out west an uprising. I can't remember who it was. I gotta look. It might not have been Andrew Johnson. I'll check who that was. But anyway, Stephanie Ruhle at MSNBC once, I know he was president too. There was a vice president. Oh, it was I can't believe my mind went blank. The vice president who went to start a rebellion. It was not Andrew Johnson, Lincoln's vice president, who went on to be president. It was, I'll remember. It doesn't matter. I'm getting like Joe Biden now. Maybe that's why I don't make fun of Joe Biden, because I have mental lapses myself. I'm just not good with names. But I'll remember that. But anyway, Stephanie Ruhle wants former Vice President Joe Biden to set up a shadow government and a shadow SWAT team. What's that about? Will they be armed, Stephanie? Well, what's the SWAT? What the SWAT team? And every day after the President of the United States speaks with the leaders from the CDC and all these other organizations, she wants Joe Biden to have a SWAT team, a shadow government to undermine that effort and say what he thinks that should be done, and maybe even perhaps try to seize control and seize power. Maybe in these Confederate states that Governor Cuomo is organizing. But as I know it's a ridiculous, stupid thought, to even suggest such a thing. But you look at Stephanie Ruhle over there on MSNBC, okay? And she knows the mental condition of Joe Biden just like the rest of us do. And she's suggesting that he seize power. He couldn't organize a team to go in the kitchen and make a sandwich. And she wants him every day. Now, is she just in denial about Biden's condition? Is she a propagandist who's trying to promote someone who's not fit to drive a car? I don't know what's going on with Stephanie Ruhle, but I understand to have a candidate like Joe Biden as your presumed nominee is frightening. It really is frightening. I wouldn't like it either. I'd be upset about it. But I don't think I'd be advocating for them. I remember when Bob Dole was the nominee back in '96, a lot of Republicans, I was a Democrat still back then, but a lot of Republicans that were on the air and on television and on radio. A lot of Republicans were so angry that Bob Dole was the nominee because he didn't have the energy that he used to have. He couldn't do it. He couldn't hack it. And, Bob Dole at least had his mind together, but conservatives were very upset. Same thing with McCain. When McCain came along, many conservatives extremely upset that John McCain had gotten the nomination. And I know a lot of people say, well, Democrats are always united. If Democrats were decent people and they're not, they would be making the call that I've made, and that is intervene, stop Vice President Biden from humiliating himself because it could get worse. It could get worse, and it probably will get worse when he's in a high-pressure situation and he's got to work and he's tired and it's a debate and the debate is late at night and it's past his bedtime. And I don't think at least me, I know some of you might be sickos out there, but I don't want to see Joe Biden on television during a debate with President Trump, forgetting where he is, who he is, what he's doing, and who he's running against, and who the president is, and having these moments. I don't want to see that on television. I don't think that's good for the country. I don't think it's humane to do to Vice President Biden. And I really don't want to see President Trump in a position where he has to beat up on a guy who doesn't know what office he's even running for. All right, listen, let's take our last break of the second hour of the program. It's 48 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. That's right. On the radio since 1977. We'll take a break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Practice, we are doing more than what the CDC guidelines are. So we are putting the patients spaced out the appointment book so that the patients don't even interact with each other. Only one patient will be seen at a time in our clinic. And number two, of course, some of the times the patient comes early. As you know, we have a very big waiting area, so we can keep them separate at least minimum of 6 to 8 feet apart. And sometimes we even tell our patients, hey, if it is possible, you can stay outside in your car and we will let you know when we are ready for you, so that the patients don't interact with each other of a different family member. We ask patients to wash their hands before they even sit on the chair, so that they are clean and we are clean and our chairs are clean. And then also, of course, we, as the doctor and the assistant, we wear two kind of masks. We wear the N95 first, and on top of that one, we put the surgical mask to protect them, and also the shield, so that there is no kind of any cross-contamination between us and the patient. And we use the disposable as far as possible. And of course, there are certain instruments they are not disposable, so we sterilize them.
Right.
And also all the area around the chairs and the chairs itself, they are all
Getting the drop out
before
and
we do
retire.
anything in the procedure.
That's what they
Well,
should
you
do.
certainly are prepared over there, and you've been my dentist for quite a while now, and I can only tell those of you that are not familiar with you, Dr. Gupta is the best. He is caring. He is always there when you need him. He's always right on top of things, and he's somebody that you really can trust without any question. You put your patients first. You will be open. All they have to do is call to make that appointment at 954 area code 922-4633.
Let me say the final word.
Sure, please
Thank you
do.
for having me at your radio show today, and wish you, your family, your friends, and especially your listeners a safety from coronavirus, and God bless America.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Yes. Welcome back. And don't forget, Dr. Gupta, for Steve Kane listeners, free exam and free x-rays. Free exam, free x-rays. A lot of dentists aren't open during this time. Dr. Gupta is, and you heard these incredible conditions he has going on over there for your safety. It's wonderful. Free exam, free x-rays for listeners of the Steve Kane Show at Dr. Gupta's Brighton Dental, 954-922-4633, listed at stevekaneshow.com. The Marie Antoinette of America is Nancy Pelosi. And, there's this article in the Gateway Pundit. I've seen this reported elsewhere, but I like the Gateway Pundit. If you guys are not familiar with the Gateway Pundit, check it out. It's great. And listen to this. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was doing interviews yesterday from her kitchen. And she was in front of her refrigerators. Each one of her refrigerators cost $12,500. So she's standing in front of her $25,000 refrigerators, and there were tubs of ice cream there that cost $13 for a tub of ice cream. Marie Antoinette. Let me read this article here. This is in the Gateway Pundit. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi showed off her expensive kitchen appliances and massive gourmet ice cream collection during an appearance on a late-night show as Americans stand in line at food banks. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, $13 a pint. Can you imagine? Pelosi slammed President Trump over his coronavirus response on The Late Show with James Corden. James Corden, has he become a U.S. citizen yet? I really don't need someone here with a red coat accent undermining and attacking our president on national American television. And then she showed off her 15-flavor ice cream collection. Nancy Pelosi, who was one of the wealthiest members of Congress, held Americans hostage by delaying the first coronavirus stimulus package. Millions of Americans, due to corona, are now unemployed, standing in line at food banks because Pelosi wasted time trying to ram the ballot harvesting, federal funding for abortion, climate change-related provisions. Let's not forget the Kennedy Center into the coronavirus bill. Now Pelosi is shoving it in our faces by showing off her pair of refrigerators that cost $24,000 and her Jenny's Gourmet ice cream collection that cost $13 a pint, and here she is showing it off. How out of touch with reality can you be? And I mean, think about it. Listen, I have nothing against wealthy people. I think rich people are awesome. President Trump's many times richer than her. But there's something about being insensitive. And, I saw the lines on television of people lined up at food banks waiting for food. And I don't know how much they really need. I don't know. Not everybody in line necessarily is broke and needs the food. You give away free stuff, people are going to line up. But a lot of people are struggling, and I don't know what people are doing today. But when people are struggling like they are right now, she's attacking President Trump in his response. Here she is in San Francisco in her kitchen, showing off $13 a pint ice cream in front of $24,000 refrigerators. And she's attacking President Trump. President Trump may be a lot richer than her, but he's not that insensitive, is he? I mean, what is she doing about this COVID-19 pandemic? She seems like she's living it up with ice cream parties out there. But a decent person wouldn't flaunt their wealth like that. I mean, this is a let them eat cake moment if I've ever heard of one. And Democrats in the past, and they still do think this today, but Democrats have always had a lot of arrogance because of two things. Two things I'm going to mention. There's other reasons too, but Democrats think that they feel the pulse of the American people. And they also Democrats believe that even though someone who's worth $250 million like her, $13 a pint, have you ever had $13 a pint ice cream before? What does that even taste like? I think the biggest expense I've ever made on ice cream would be when they had that Ben & Jerry's oatmeal, which I haven't seen in a long time. Oh my goodness, the Ben & Jerry's oatmeal ice cream. I'd go and get a pint of that, but how much is a Ben & Jerry's pint? It's not $13. And me, I'm like, whoa. That's expensive, right, Ben & Jerry's? I don't really eat it anymore. But anyway, they think they feel the pulse of the American people, and they also think that they speak for and represent the people. And, when Trump came down the escalator, there was a big change in this country. The Democrats have lost touch. They no longer feel the pulse of the American people. They did with Clinton. They did with Obama to a certain extent. And they no longer are representative of the people. There was a time when the Democrats were representative of working people back in the days of the unions and certain other things, and even with the rise of Obama. But what Nancy Pelosi has shown every step of the way, since Trump has been president, is she is as in touch with reality as Joe Biden is at this point. You see how she behaves. When that stimulus bill was being discussed a couple weeks back, the way she behaved prior to the impeachment, the way she behaved with this Corden interview with the $25,000 refrigerators, $13 pint ice cream collection, and all this stuff. She's lost her mind. Speaker Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake. People cannot even afford, in some parts of this country that are totally shut down in New York City. Here in Florida, people are working for the most part. But in places like New York City, and also in California where they have some pretty severe lockdowns, people don't have money. We talk about, where can I find toilet paper? They don't even have enough money to buy it right now. Even when they get that stimulus check, it's gone before they get it. I mean, it's already spent many times over, isn't it? You may not agree with President Trump on everything, but I don't see him flaunting his wealth and his comfort or his family during a time of crisis in this, like Pelosi is. Could she be more out of touch? And as I said, she is as out of touch with reality as Joe Biden is. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. 1 hour to go. Broadcasting under very extreme circumstances here. If you'd like to call in, please do. Our number, 1-888-GO, Kane 1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right, 1 hour to go. We'll be right back.
3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Frank, the owner of Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, wants you and your family to be protected during the coronavirus pandemic and has an incredible offer for listeners of The Steve Kane Show.
We get products continually coming in during the week. We get disinfectants, bleach, gloves, cleaning supplies. Everybody's looking for face masks. So the best thing that we came up with was a face covering. A lot of the cities are going to ask you to cover your face. So we've got a supply of bandanas. I'd love every one of your customers that come in a free bandana just for mentioning the Steve Kane Show. The bandanas are face covering and the cities are going to require as we start to go back to work and get out that everybody's required to have their face covered. So you can use this bandana to cover your mouth and your nose and to protect you and protect all those around you. The other thing is while you're at home, why don't you get that honeydew list done? Is that a cleaning project or sprinkler supply or maybe treat yourself to a new grill?
Wow, what a great deal. These bandanas are reusable because you can wash them. So stop into Ace Hardware in Deerfield, just south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of US
I need a
1,
drink.
and Beach Ace Hardware located at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea. And get your free bandana from Ace Hardware.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of
My throat
high-quality
is dry.
diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had 2 bald tires in the back of my Infiniti. So I called them up, and I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price?
And
Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
half the price. And not only that, his tires, which nobody, the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000 mile warranty. So
Wow.
they're not only half the price, they're twice as good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Rick, everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody could buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group.
Yeah, I'm distracted today, all this crap going on here.
To Carl Gables. Call toll free 1
Can't help it.
855 FLA 3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free. Kane, 1.
Ugh. What a mess. All right. Third and final hour has begun. Broadcasting under extreme difficulties this morning. Let me turn the radio on. Is everything A-okay on the air? Okay, yes. Oh my goodness. Very difficult circumstances. If you watch on the YouTube Live, you caught it. It's just very frustrating. When I got these frustrating problems going on, to get through the show is difficult. Difficult. All right, well, anyway, welcome back. Third and final hour has begun. It's 6 minutes after the hour. Oh, man. You know, I got to tell everybody about Friendly Tire. I was over at Friendly Tire yesterday, stopped by, see what was going on. And what did I run into? Steve Kane Show listeners. And all of you that are customers of Friendly Tire, thanks so much. I ran into a listener yesterday that went over to Friendly Tire for a repair. You know, the other tire shops around town do not do repairs. And Friendly Mike does repairs on tires. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I had this incident happen to me in Orlando at Halloween Horror Nights. I was in my daughter's car. I drove over a curb, and she has a little tiny car. She has one of those little Fiats. I drove over a curb, and I broke the stem on the tire, so it had a leak in it. And I just said, I'll just fill it up with air. I'll deal with it later. I got AAA. And in the morning, I went, this was up in Orlando. I wasn't here. I was up in Orlando. I went to the big name tire stores around. Oh, we don't do tire repairs. We don't do tire repairs. Yeah, because they want to sell you new tires. So what I did is I had a slow air leak, and it was on a Sunday morning. I drove back home to South Florida from Orlando. I stopped and filled the tire up with air at every rest stop along the way. There's a rest stop depending every 25 to 40 miles. I had to stop at every rest stop and put air in the tire. And Monday morning when I got off the air, I drove the car over to Friendly Tire, and he put the new stem on the tire, and that was it that I broke driving over the curb. And it was so inexpensive, it was practically free. He does tire repairs. So I ran into a Steve Kane listener yesterday getting a tire repaired. I don't know what the repair was. I forgot to ask. But, yeah, they do tire repairs over at Friendly Tire at incredibly low prices. They have incredible prices on tires. You hear us talk about that a lot. And also, if you have high-performance tires, specialty tires, run flats, tires that are typically extremely expensive, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire can get all those tires for you, too. I see people over there oftentimes with sports cars. I've seen Corvettes over there. I see Jags. It's amazing. I was over there the other day. There was a guy who had a tricked out truck, and he was getting new tires at Friendly Tire. He had gotten new rims. He brought his rims with him. He had these fancy specialty rims, and he went over to Friendly Tire because on all the big name brands and the specialty tires and all the fancy things, he gets incredible deals on those too. So listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 online, friendlytire.net. Did you guys watch the coronavirus press conference yesterday with Trump? I did. I think that might have been the shortest press conference of the Trump presidency. He got out of there quick. It was very strange. He ended that so fast. He said something about it being cold, and he was out of there. But John Roberts from Fox News Channel brought something up, and this is the headline about this in the Daily Mail. Mike Pompeo demands truth from Beijing as U.S. investigates if COVID-19 escaped from Wuhan lab during experiments and China covered it up by blaming wet food markets. I don't know, and I don't care at this point. How it got here, what happened, I'm not interested in any of that. It's a little premature to me. I just want America reopen. That's all I care about. When this first happened, I didn't have a worry in the world about coronavirus. Now, I do take my precautions. I got my mask, and I do all the precautions. I've washed my hands in the last month. I'm not kidding. More than I've washed them probably in the last 10 years. I've washed my hands 6, 7, 8 times since I've been here in the studio this morning. And that was before I went on the air. Right? It's amazing, and when I say I've washed my hands in the last month more than the last 10 years, I think that may be true. And I'm a clean guy, but I've been washing my hands all the time. and I do all the precautions. But what I was concerned about from day one was not coronavirus, but the economic problem. And that's what I worried about. And that's what I worry about now. And this country should and can, for the most part, open up immediately. I know New York is a different situation, but you know what? Maybe not all of New York. Maybe not all of New York. Maybe just parts of New York. Maybe parts of New York could open up normal. But the majority of the states, Florida included, should be pretty much back to normal. The only difficulty we have in Florida is what to do with the tourists. When are they going to let tourists back? I don't know. Because I know we don't want people flying here from New York or any of the hard-hit areas. So I don't know. But Florida needs to be opened up back to normal. And I'll tell you another thing. This is just my opinion. I think restaurants should be reopened for customers in the dining rooms. Now, I'm not saying that dining rooms should be packed inside immediately, but I think with social distancing guidelines, I think it is fine to reopen our restaurants. What do you guys think about that? With limited number of customers inside the dining rooms. And what about the hair salons? When am I going to be able to get a haircut again? I do believe it's time for all of these things to start happening, and start happening now. We can't stay locked up in our house till no one ever gets sick again, as the Democrats and Fauci would like us to do. Fauci, I know a lot of people give him a hard time, and I get aggravated at Fauci too from time to time. But I think he's more of an egghead. He's more of a statistician guy. He's all in the figures and studies and all these things. He doesn't live in the real world. He's kind of like a college professor. College professors all live in the world of theory as opposed to the practical world because they never live in it. And Fauci doesn't live in the real world. He lives off in this world of theory about everything, And he's on another planet. But I see no reason why the vast majority of this country cannot be reopened. $1,200 a person ain't gonna get it. Even if they gave $1,200 a person every month, it's not gonna get it. I mean, how much is your cell phone bill for your family? A lot of people, it's well over $200 for the cell phone bill. By the way, guys, I'm sorry. I know people have been calling. I missed the call. If you guys want to call back, please do. I just mentioned real quickly, our phone system conked out on us this morning. So I have forwarded the phones to my cell phone. And I can see, there you go, right here. Let's try it. Steve Kane Show. Hey, hold on. All right, you're on the radio. See, I'm taking calls over my cell phone. Believe it or not, I'm on. Yeah, no, you're on my cell phone.
Yeah. Hey, about opening up, I agree with you. I go all the way back as well. And in regards to a place like a restaurant, I think it's just naturally going to have less people in them. So people like myself are going to feel comfortable going in. Other people are still going to be, distancing themselves. And then as people see that life is going on, eventually that will just naturally build back up to where we were before.
Yeah. No, I agree. What I see, because I don't shelter in my house all day. I've got things I got to do. Okay, I've got things I've got to do, and I've got sometimes I got to meet with sponsors of the show. After the show, I have meetings. I have things I got to do. I go to stores. I go to restaurants. I get food. I do all that stuff. Almost as much as I did before all this happened. Now, I got a mask on, I'm washing my hands and all that stuff. But and what I observe, no matter where I go, everyone is naturally going by the social distancing. They're taking all the precautions because no one wants to get sick. So listen, if Walmart can be open, why can't every other business?
I agree. Did you hear the senator from Louisiana last night? He was on, I believe it was Tucker. Mm-hmm. I think his last name is Johnson, not sure. But he said, listen, it's going to happen. People are going to get sick. That's right. We're going to have to just move forward. And I agree with him. We're going to, we're going to isolate ourselves so much that, no one will ever get sick. But, people stop skydiving, a lot less people will get killed skydiving.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm pretty confident in Florida. If Ron DeSantis says that the WWE can be open, I think he's going to pretty much open up almost everything. I mean, how can he say all these things need to be closed, but professional wrestling can run? It doesn't make it. So I think we're pretty good in Florida. Thank the Lord we have a Republican governor. If we had the Democrats are tyrants. And you see it by the way they're behaving. They're locking down their citizens. They're violating their constitutional liberties. And they feel completely justified in doing that for the common good, of course. All right, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. But, let me tell you, you see the way that Democrats are behaving in this day and age? I will never vote for a Democrat under any... Not that I probably would have anyway, but right now is an incredible opportunity to see what Democrats are really about. The governor of New Jersey was on Tucker Carlson last night. I saw it. The guy looks to me to be insane. He's got all these restrictions, and Tucker Carlson is asking him, where do you get the authority to suspend someone's right to assemble, to associate with who they want to associate with, or exercise their freedom of religion? Well, we're doing it, It didn't even seem to faze him that he was violating our constitutional guarantees that are in the Bill of Rights, because he's a Democrat. See, Democrats are not about any kind of freedom, and unfortunately, a great many of Democrat voters have no problem giving over their rights either. They don't seem to mind that all too much. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, there is more to share. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Indeed, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Dr. Matez, we talk about charisma. Hormone replacement pellet therapy brings back a lot of things in people, and one of the things I think it brings back is charisma, because I've met many listeners that are patients of Dr. Matez that I've met before they were patients of Dr. Matez, and I notice a big difference. And one thing I notice is a lot of confidence in guys after they start hormone replacement pellet therapy.
I agree with you 100%, Brett.
Yeah,
Get your mojo back. It's really what
It changes your life. It changes the way you view the world. You know how I put it once? This was years and years ago. Looking at the world after having the hormone therapy, and you look at the world, and the world is like a Technicolor, and when you give up the hormone therapy, it's like watching the world in black and white. It's just an amazing difference. Life
That's
is
a
fuller,
fantastic analogy.
isn't it?
It is.
It's true. That's a big difference.
It is. As we get older, we both physically and mentally break down, and we tend to get into a very black and white type of existence, a lot of people. Everybody's different. But when you get your hormone levels back and you get that vigor back, you feel good. Suddenly things are very bright and colorful.
And I experience this myself, and I see it on listeners, is I'll see a guy, and he's like, and then I'll see him after he has become a patient of yours, and with hormone replacement pellet therapy, he seems like he's standing up strong, confident, 10 feet tall. What is it about hormone replacement pellet therapy that does that to guys?
I believe it's because you're putting God's nectar back into the body, basically. God gave us testosterone in particular to give us energy and strength and endurance and muscle mass. It's what makes not just men, it's what makes people. And a lack of it takes all of those things away from you.
So we'll meet with Steve Kane listeners at no charge?
Always.
What is the number they can call to make that appointment?
561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show, live in Morning Drive on 1470.
Yes. All of the Steve Kane Show sponsors are open for business. Okay, all of them. And our doctor sponsors are also open for They're existing patients and new patients as well. And, you know, our dentist, Dr. Gupta, Dr. Matez, the Soul Authority. And let me tell you, all of them have taken, the Soul Authority, they're doing house calls, which they've always done. But they also are available at both locations for their in-office patients in Pembroke Pines and Tamarack. They're open for in-office appointments as well. And all of them are exercising social distancing guidelines. I had to take my wife to her ear, nose, and throat doctor the other day. And I'm always reluctant to go to the ENT because that's where the people, usually I go to the office, there's 30 people in the waiting room at the ENT, and at least half of them are sick. The other half have brought the person there, right, because they're sick. They're coughing, hacking, sneezing, no masks. That's a normal day, right? We're in a new world now. The ENT is scheduling patients so you're not interacting with other patients. And I've never been to the doctor's office in a situation like this. And it's absolutely amazing. And it's also safer than ever. Because usually when I take my wife to the ENT, I usually wait in the car because I don't want to go into the ENT because so many people are coughing and hacking and sneezing in there. And there's nobody else in there. So there's another way. Well, the same goes for all of our medical sponsors. Dr. Matez, Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental, the Soul Authority. They have instituted the social distancing guidelines. You hear Dr. Gupta talk about in extreme detail. You know, so you are separate. You're not seeing other patients. They take extra precautions, even beyond what the CDC is doing. And the Soul Authority, if you don't want to go into the office for whatever reason, the doctor, she will come to your house for the house calls. Again, they've always done that. We just haven't promoted it so much as we're doing these days. So, yeah, all of the Steve Kane Show sponsors are open for business. And all of you out there that have taken advantage and have been supporting our sponsors, I really appreciate that. Including, I've gotten a lot of great feedback from Wings Plus over there on Ramblewood. A lot of you have been going to Wings Plus for lunch and dinner these past few weeks. And I just want to thank all of you for your continued support of the Steve Kane Show sponsors, because they support us, you know, on this show for many, many years. Some of them have been with us 20. And the fact that you guys are out there supporting our sponsors, I really appreciate it. It's not just for us, because it does help us when you do that, but you're also helping the business owners and their employees. And I really do appreciate your support of that. Now, you know, Governor Cuomo, he's got a lot of problems going on up there, right? And by the way, he's giving away ventilators now after he was whining he didn't have enough. Are these his ventilators to be giving away? He's giving ventilators away to other states now, Governor Cuomo. Should he not be giving them back to Trump and let the federal government give them to where they need them? I mean, he's hoarded all these ventilators, and now he has so many, he's giving them away, Governor Cuomo. But Governor Cuomo, the Democrats are like, oh, I wish he was our nominee. And there's even talk, I don't think this is real because I don't think Cuomo wants it this time. I think he would maybe like to do it next time. But there's talk of trying to get him to go in and get the nomination at a broker convention for the Democrats away from Biden because Biden's so out of it. Hold on, Bear, I'll be right with you. But Cuomo has got two major problems, which I'll tell you about in just a few minutes. First, we're going to talk to attorney Barry Siegel. Barry Siegel, you're on the air.
Good morning. How are you, Brian?
I am doing very, very well. So what's going on with estate planning during this pandemic? I imagine this is a time when people are thinking, you know what, maybe I need to review my estate planning documents. In particular, maybe I need more than one medical surrogate.
We are getting a lot of calls, and I mean a lot. And what we're finding is people who are calling now are very serious about getting their planning done. It's something that people keep saying that they've been meaning to do, they've been wanting to get this done, and I guess this pandemic has really caused some people to make that decision to go ahead and take action and get it done. And we try to make it as easy as possible. We make the consultation no charge so they can learn everything that they want to learn about us and about our process and what we do and what we can do for them and what the benefits are to them.
Mhm.
We even have a free video that they can call us, and we'll send them the link, and it will basically give them the information that they would get at one of our workshops, so they can have that in preparation for our consultation as well. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for people to get this done during this time, and we're doing our consultations over the phone or by video conferencing, so that no one has to worry about the social distancing. Will be very distant.
You know, I know every situation is different, and not only is every situation different, everyone's concerns are different. But two things to me that I would imagine is I think people are probably thinking maybe I need 2 medical surrogates and I only have 1, or maybe I need to have a secondary person named as the person that would handle my affairs, because with the COVID-19, multiple people in a family getting sick, oftentimes the other person getting sick could be your medical designee. And I would think a lot of these things people want to look at right now.
Yeah, I was just reviewing a gentleman's estate planning documents yesterday. He only had 1 person named to step in as trustee and power of attorney, and that was his wife.
Yeah.
And that was his wife who has who's coming down with Alzheimer's.
Oh, my goodness.
So he really needs to revisit and get that updated.
Oh my goodness. What happens, Barry, in a situation like that, when someone passes and the person that they've named in charge is not capable of handling the estate? What happens? Does it go to the judge? What happens if they don't have a second person?
It could. It could. There are different ways it can be handled, and typically it's written into the document. One of the ways is where the majority of the beneficiaries can nominate a successor trustee as well.
Yeah.
So there's various things. What we don't want to do is have it go to the court. What we don't want people to have to do is, let's suppose they don't have a power of attorney, or let's say the same thing happened on a power of attorney where the person couldn't serve and there was nobody else. And they have to go to guardianship court, and that's the last thing.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
It's so simple to get these documents done, Brian, and it's just the consequences of not having them are far worse than the little bit of time and
That's right.
Small fee comparatively to what it would be to deal with these probate and guardianship and losing the assets to a beneficiary spouse and things like that.
Well, the Siegel Law Group, Attorney Barry Siegel and his team, they are adhering to the social distancing guidelines. Give them a call, and even in this extra busy time when these things are really on people's mind in a serious way, the consultation with Attorney Barry Siegel, still no charge, which is really an amazing thing, because a lot of times a lot of guys would start charging for it just because they're getting so busy. Not the Siegel Law Group. So give them a call, toll free, 1-855-FLA 3782, 1-855-FLA 3782. Have Attorney Barry Siegel review your documents. If you've not made plans, he's of course going to help you with that as well. 1-855-FLA 3782. All right, Barry, we will talk tomorrow.
Thank you, Brian. Have a great day.
All right, take care. Attorney Barry Siegel, give him a call. Oh, boy. And let me just finish up here with what I'm talking about with Cuomo. So Cuomo has 2 very, very big problems, okay? During this time that he thinks is the highlight of his career, where he's got that moment now where he's standing out as a national leader, he's got his brother, not only with coronavirus, but breaking quarantine, and now he's giving it to his wife, okay? Then, yesterday, there was a whole group of New Yorkers who left and went out into the streets and went shopping. Did you see any of this on television? My goodness. Cuomo has lost complete control of New York. He's lost control of his family, and he's lost control of his state. And you know what? De Blasio's lost control of his city, too. And for all the Democrats that think that Cuomo is going to be their savior, he may very well be your nominee in 2024. But I'll tell you this, when life is back to normal in New York, and it will be, and people look and they look at this period, and they look at what Cuomo and de Blasio didn't do, and everything that goes along with it, he's not going to be as much of an attractive candidate in 2024 as he is today, I'm here to tell you, because Cuomo is a disaster. He's a disaster. All right, let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. We'll come back with our health report with Richard Pearl. Don't go anywhere.
93 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Are you between the ages of 18 and 60 and have thought about getting life insurance but never had the time? Or thought life insurance was too much work? Well, now is the time. Life insurance has changed. People are living longer, so rates are being reduced. These new life insurance policies also have living benefits, which means the owner can accelerate a portion of the policy's initial death benefit should the insured become critically, chronically, or terminally ill. And the majority of applicants get approved without a medical exam and simplified underwriting, which means you're approved even faster. IWIL Advisors can still assist anyone from the ages of 60 to 85 with life insurance. Call Debbie and her team to learn more. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Soul Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search W.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. It's time to check in with Richard Pearl from Simply Natural, your place for all the nutraceuticals, all the health supplements. Richard Pearl, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. So let's get into it real quick. By the way, I do have a mask. I have some other interesting things at Simply Natural, which I don't want to go into today. I want to get into something more upsetting. Since March 2nd, since I've been on the Steve Kane Show, I have presented information that is 180 degrees opposite of the mainstream view of this pandemic. And if you listen to my radio show, Pearls of Health, on Saturdays at 1 p.m. same station, you've been treated to what's now being confirmed by others, which is that this was made in a China Level 4 laboratory, that the effects of this virus has led to the globalist dreams of shutting down protests against them. Just look at what happened in Hong Kong, Taipei, France, Iran, Venezuela, etc. It's created a transfer of wealth, and it's set up a soft martial law in the United States and around the world.
That's right.
And the next thing that they're doing, which I've been saying, is it's going to lead to forced vaccinations. And the stats that they've used to orchestrate this whole thing for the virus have been completely misleading. Since inception, the assumptions that have been made are based on unknown data sponsored by Bill Gates, World Health Organization, the Center for Disease Control, Big Pharma, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx, and others to perpetrate this. This is the whole thing with social distancing and wearing a mask, though I'm going to offer masks, is to keep people from being exposed to the virus, which will allow for them not to create antibodies. If you don't create antibodies, then they have to give you a vaccine.
That's right.
So that vaccine will lead to an antibody. So they'll make trillions of dollars with zero risk in the pharmaceutical industry because of the laws. Zero risk. They will force you to take vaccines, including with all the heavy metals in it, and you'll have to do that because you don't have natural immunity, because they don't want you to have natural immunity. The death rate of this virus will be so small when the numbers are really looked at in the future that this will be obvious. It's not obvious to most, and the media will not cover it. They won't even tell you to take natural products. That in lies shows you how biased and how false and untruthful everything is. Because a normal approach would be, hey, if you got to be home and you've got to wash your hands, you should take supplements to boost yourself, and they're not telling you the obvious.
Yeah. You sound angry, Richard Pearl.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I'm long the market. I'm long gold. I see things as they are. I was in Sierra Leone when they had Ebola. I was a broker during the '87 crash. These things are so stinking obvious. What you look for in life
is not what's obvious or visible, but what's invisible. And what they're not telling you about, what they're omitting, is the truth. That's the reality. This has been orchestrated. The virus was probably accidental, but the reality is it was an opportunity for the globalists to take back control, because guys like Donald Trump, guys like Modi in India, guys like Conte in Italy, and others, Boris Johnson in England, were not going along with the globalist plan. So what do you have to do? You have to find a way to shut them down. This was very convenient.
That's right. Well, listen, Richard Pearl's store, Simply Natural, is where Steve Kane and I both go for our supplements, our nutraceuticals. He's great. You hear Richard every day at this time. And, you know, Richard Pearl, you know, one thing about Richard Pearl that you'll notice, when I tell you this, you'll hear it all the time, if you've not heard us mention this before. Richard Pearl is solutions focused. You call Richard Pearl or you go into the store, you say, I've got this problem, I've got that problem. He wants that problem to go away, and he'll talk to you about how he can help do that. Give him a call. His store is open at 11 a.m., 7 days a week till 9 p.m. That's right, even Sundays. 954-741-4045, 954-741-4045. And Simply Natural is just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University Drive in the city of Sunrise. All right, Richard Pearl, we'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you, Brian.
All
I
right.
really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Yeah, he's a good guy, and reminds me of my old friend Barry Nevins, I must tell you. Yeah, they're a lot alike. I don't know. I know they knew each other. I didn't know if they were friends or not, because kind of competitors, but very much the same attitude when it comes to, and same perspective when it comes to natural health, of which I'm a big, huge supporter of. All right, well, welcome back, one and all. So hopefully today we're going to get out of lockdown. And I know I saw that protest yesterday up in Michigan. You know, this governor of Michigan, she's out of control. But we're coming out of this now. We're coming out of this now, and you can tell because people are getting antsy. Right? We've got protesters in Michigan. We've got shoppers in New York City. We got Fredo Cuomo hanging out in the Hamptons, and all this stuff, even though he's got the COVID-19. You can tell people have cabin fever in this country. They're ready to get out. And, all this speculation about whether or not the economy will come back in gangbusters like the president and Kudlow keep talking about, I think if you look at the way people are behaving right now, that is going to happen. People are, I know Democrats may be comfortable sitting at home and watching Netflix all day, every day, but conservatives and most people that are non-political want to work. They don't want to sit at home with their feet up watching Tiger King, which is probably one of the most overrated shows ever. Have any of you watched Tiger King? I think I've gotten through 4 episodes. It's been a chore to get through Tiger King. And I want to get through it because I've got so much time invested in it. I don't want to be like I've wasted my time and not been watching Tiger King. But Tiger King seems to be very overrated. Have any of you watched? Is anybody a fan of Tiger? Everyone's talking about Tiger King. It even came up in the White House press conference with Trump last week or the week before. If you've not seen Tiger King on Netflix and you have Netflix, spoiler alert, I would recommend don't watch it. It's very overrated. It is it's something that really could have been a 2-hour documentary instead of however many episodes it is. It is a chore to watch. It's about this guy who had his own private tiger zoo. Well, not just tigers. He has all kinds of big game cats. And he's also gay. And he's sitting in jail for, among other things, planning the murder of a so-called animal rights activist who caused him a lot of problems and caused him to go broke. And now we're finding out the animal rights activist may have killed her husband and fed him to her tigers. So, I mean, it does seem like a crazy thing. It's got a good title, and all of that. But it is, Tiger King is terminal. It really is. And when I watched the first episode, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it redeems it, because everyone's talking about maybe the second. And all of a sudden, I'm 3 or 4 episodes in. binge watching is a waste of life. Okay? And I'll be the first to tell you, well, no, the second to tell, my wife will be the first to tell you. I can get hooked on a binge watch show. I can get hooked on it. And what'll sometimes happen, on the weekends, I wake up early like I do during the week. I'll get up, it's 4 in. I'll start watching something. Next thing you know, it's I'm 8 episodes in, and I get hooked on binge watching. I've had it happen. I've had it happen. I'm not as bad with it now as I used to be, but I have binge watched more than one series. I'm embarrassed to tell you. I don't want to start listing them because if I get a count, 90 Day Fiance. I do like 90 Day Fiance. I must tell you, but I'll tell you. Anytime I have binge watched any television show, and I have been binge watching's a big thing. Big thing, right? Any of you guys binge watch? I have binge watched some shows that are pretty good shows. Not going to start listing them, but whenever I finish the last episode, I feel like depressed, disappointed. I feel like what a waste. I've never gotten through a binge watching session and been like, oh man, I'm so glad I binge watched that. So I try to avoid it these days. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I don't binge watch. I think it's a big waste of time.
It is. Waste of life.
Conservative, but it's a complete, and like you said, when you're liberal and you have nothing else to do, or you're sitting home doing drugs all day or whatever.
Yeah.
But that Lion King, whatever the heck it is,
Tiger King.
So episode one, I was struggling to keep my eyes open with 5 minutes, I don't know, 15 minutes into it. And then people are like, oh, you got to look at the second episode, give it another chance.
Yeah, when you get to the third episode, yeah. I know. That's what happened to me. It sucks. It sucks. Tiger King sucks.
I made it through two episodes and said neither my wife or I could watch it anymore.
I'm on episode 3 or 4, and what's happened to me is I've invested so much time. I feel like I got to complete my task. I might just skip to the last episode. However, I don't know how many there are. I haven't looked, but I might just skip to the last. Yeah, but you know what? The thing. By the way, thanks for the call. Here's why I bring this up, though, and if you listen to my podcast, I've talked about this a lot on my podcast. The mainstream news, which when I say mainstream news, I really mean cable news. Cable news is a poison in American society today. A poison in American society. And I'm mostly watching One American News, but I was watching Fox News yesterday. And you know what? Don't let me lose my train of thought, because I got to take a break for the Gold Report. And in the last segment of the show, what I heard on Fox News yesterday was some of the most irresponsible broadcasting I have ever heard in cable news. It can't be the worst, but it was what they did yesterday, Fox News, in the midday was wrong, it was inappropriate, and it was just stupid. If I forget my train of thought, because I got a lot of technical snafus going on here, you guys in the chat room on YouTube Live, remind me when we get back. But we'll take our last break of the show, and I'll tell you what that was on Fox yesterday and what I'm bringing up, why I'm bringing up binge watching and its relevance to you who think you're not a binge watcher. All right, my name's Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. That's right, on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The owner of Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware wants you and your family to be protected during the coronavirus pandemic.
When I'm talking on the air, can you guys hear me all right on the iPad? I'm using my iPad today because I'm taking the calls on my cell phone.
Beach gloves, cleaning supplies, everybody's looking for face masks. So the best thing that we came up with was a face covering. A lot of the cities are going to ask you to cover your face. So we've got a supply of bandanas. I'd love every one of your customers that come in a free bandana just for mentioning the Steve Kane Show. The bandanas are face covering, and the cities are going to require, as we start to go back to work and get out, that everybody's required to have their face covered.
This thing with the phones is going to be this way for a while because of getting somebody out here figured this problem with our phones is a pretty serious issue.
While you're at home, why don't you get that honeydew list done? This cleaning project or sprinkler supply, or maybe treat yourself to a new growth.
Steve Kane Show.
These bandanas are reusable because you can wash them. So stop into Ace Hardware in Deerfield, just south of Hillsborough
Say that again?
Boulevard, on the west side of US 1, and Beach Ace Hardware, located at 232
Oh, yeah, Dr.
Boulevard,
Matez?
Lauderdale by the Sea.
Yeah, I'll give you his number. You want his number?
Bandana from Ace Hardware.
561
Story of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing,
953
many people have been forced to neglect their feet.
5490.
We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your
All right, you
feet
take care.
while
Bye.
remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric
Guy asked me
needs.
for Dr.
The best part
Matez's
of
number.
all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060.
Hey there, it's
Don't
Brian.
let
I'm just
social
using a
distancing
different number
stop
today.
you from
Hold on.
taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Listen to the Steve King Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. This is the Steve King Show, Florida's longest running radio show. It's time for the Gold Report. On the line, William Youngerman. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
Great. How the metals looking today?
Metal's looking very strong again after a little bit of an opportunity for us to take buy a dip yesterday, which I recommended everybody do. We saw gold drop $10.60 yesterday down to $1,716. The market seems to have embedded itself well above the $1,700, what was a resistance area, but it's pretty much a 7.5-year high for gold right now. Silver was down 26 cents yesterday, closing at $15.44. Platinum was down $8 at $7.74, and palladium closed down $65 yesterday at $2,102. This morning, a whole different story. We've got gold up again on basic economic numbers coming out, which were basically horrible. The housing starts, the unemployment, everything. That pushed gold up to $1,740 at one point this morning. We're back down a little bit to $1,728. That's up $12 so far this morning. Silver up 11 cents at $15.55. Platinum up $16 at $790. And palladium up $3 at $2,105. So the gold has been the kingpin on this move. Silver still trading at about 110-to-1 ratio to gold, which is unheard of, but the market is telling you that gold is the real money that has sustained 5,000 years of financial history for people, and that's where they're running to, as
That's
well
right.
as the central banks. So
Yeah.
you've got to protect your financial assets if you don't own gold, and even silver at these prices is such a bargain. You have to consider these two metals at this time.
Well, you know what it is with gold? You know, gold money since there has been civilization, right? 5,000 years. But, you know, it really, what we're going through now proves, you know, gold is there and is the place to go in times of war, economic uncertainty, and even a pandemic. It's absolutely amazing because I thought, William Youngerman, that people, because a lot of people may not be working, that they would be selling and it would bring the price down. And it's where people are going to maintain their wealth and maintain their money. Give William Youngerman a call, all right? 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. If you've never gotten involved in the metals, you can see in times of crisis, that's where to be. 1-800-327-5010. Located in Boca, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road in the lobby of the Bank of America building. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk tomorrow.
Okay, just a reminder, we have a safe area for everybody to come and visit us. We will be open to service our customers till 4 o'clock today.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. All right, you take care. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so now let me finish up about what Fox News did yesterday and what's happened. Let me finish explaining what I want to say first about it. You know, I was talking about what a waste binge-watching television is, like Tiger King, okay? Cable news is a poison in American society. It really is. A lot of what we're dealing with today in our country is because of the media reaction to the pandemic. Pandemic's bad, but the media, I think, make it a lot worse. And cable news has changed their format, and I don't think many people have realized this. I've talked about this on my podcast. I don't think I've talked about it on the radio. Television news, cable news in particular, the 24-hour news cycle, is now set up for binge watching. And those of you that watch cable news regularly, how many hours a day do you watch it? Be honest with yourself. Don't call and tell me, but you watch it way too much, don't you? And it's designed to keep you from leaving. How often do you hear that breaking news sounder? And they do that by keeping you worried, not by giving you good news. And Fox News had a story yesterday that I thought was so irresponsible, and they ran with it for quite some time. It was about a meatpacking plant. Somewhere in a meatpacking facility, someone had tested positive with coronavirus, and they spent because I was in and out listening and checking it out. They spent a couple of hours at least talking to people about whether or not the food supply was in danger, the supply chain of our food supply. Let me tell you something. That was the most irresponsible story they could have run with. Do they want to happen with our food what happened to toilet paper? Toilet paper is in short supply. And some other things too, like Lysol and things like that are in short supply. Paper towels, you know the story. And for them to go on the air and question the security and dependability of Americans' food supply was some of the most irresponsible broadcasting I've ever heard in the news. And that's saying a lot, because that's Fox News. This wasn't CNN or MSNBC. And, the people in the news, I think that this is just how they are now, and they don't realize who they are, and what they're doing. But they've got a racket going to get you to keep watching. See, what news used to do, and they can't do this anymore, they would say, coming up after the break, and they would give you a tease. They don't do teases anymore because they don't work. Because if they do a tease, you pick up your iPhone, you put it in Google, and you know what it is. There's no before the commercial breaks over. How many of you done this? I've done it. They don't do the tease anymore. The tease was a way that television news, even cable news, would keep people through a break. Now they keep you. They've used the model of Netflix, the binge watching phenomena in our society today, and they've reformatted the news so that people that are consumers of news are binge watchers. Now, something like Tiger King, I don't know how many episodes it has, but usually these binge watching shows will have 10 episodes. Sometimes they'll have the 22 or 4, but mostly it's 10. And people will spend an entire day watching a series. I'm embarrassed to tell you I've done it more than once. I'm not gonna tell you how many times. I don't even know how many. I don't want to know how many times I've done that. That's what the news is about today. And a major problem we have during this crisis is they don't want you to leave your home. They want you to sit in front of your television and watch them. Television ratings are through the roof right now. So are our ratings, okay? So are our ratings. Because of the nature of what's going on. But I'm not playing games to get you to listen or watch us on YouTube or something. I'm just doing what we would normally do. The cable news, and maybe this is below their awareness level, in a way they don't want the country reopened, because if the country's reopened, that means the ratings are going to go back to normal ratings because people are going back to work. People that are home, that are typically not home during the day, are worried about everything in their life right now for good reason. They're worried about sickness. They're worried about car payments, mortgages, feeding their kids. When they go back to work, will the schools be open? Will they have their kids? So they go to the news for information, and the news is scaring the living hell out of them. It used to be, in the old days, they had the Nielsen boxes that some people had to do the ratings. Now everyone's a Nielsen family. Your cable box, that's a ratings box. If you watch live stream on apps, they know. If you stream it on YouTube, they know. Okay? And they've designed the news to keep you in a state of panic so you won't leave the television. The format of news is a binge-watching format today, just like this stupid show Tiger King that everyone's talking about that sucks. Tiger King sucks. I know. I've watched 3 or 4 episodes of it. And that's what's going on with the news. And when I saw this story on Fox yesterday about this is the food supply safe? What a bunch of irresponsible. There were the news, and I'm not saying the news should lie to us, but there's a hell of a lot of positive stories out there, and they're not talking about any of them. I give you a big one, the biggest one right now, okay, that no one's talking about except me, is this. They keep telling us, and you've heard me talk about this quite a bit on the program. Have you heard anybody else? Have you heard anybody in cable news? Cable news, except One American News, doesn't do this. They have the count on the screen all the time. How many people have tested positive? How many people have died? And it switches from U.S. to global all the time. They never give you the number of people that have recovered and are now negative. Right? You've heard me talk about this quite a bit. They don't want that number, because it'll lower they want that number to keep getting higher. They don't want to subtract from it, because as it gets higher, you're more afraid and you're watching them for information. If they did stories showing, okay, this is how many people tested positive, but of those people, this is the number that are now testing negative, and gave us the real number of people that are positive in the country today, it'd be a great relief to people. That's just one example of many. But they don't want to give you positive news. Positive news, you're gone. You've turned off the TV, or you're binge watching Tiger King instead of binge watching Fox or CNN or MSNBC. The news media are so irresponsible during this time. After 9/11, there were some problems, okay, with the media coverage. But for the most part, the media were responsible, and it started on 9/11. Remember, on 9/11, it was a live event. They were carrying it live, and when people started jumping out of the towers that were above the impact zone and had no hope of escape, they cut away and didn't show it anymore, did they? They were more responsible back then. Now, they just want to keep you watching, and if you go back to work, their ratings are going to go down, and they just don't like that at all. You know? I'm sorry, you know, and that's what's going on in the media. And I really try to break away from it. The media is poison right now. There are so many, now again, I don't want them to lie and be propagandist, but there are many positive stories going on in this country, and they share none of them. None of them. And a positive story isn't a firefighter or a first responder walking down the street with the American flag. That doesn't do any good. A positive story is like what President Trump tried to present the other day when he had people that have recovered from coronavirus in the cabinet room and he met with them. Very little coverage. I don't even know if CNN and MSNBC carried the damn thing. I don't know. I know Fox did, but they seem to have forgotten about it. Listen, we are all out of time for today as we approach the top of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. We'll be live at 6 a.m. Tomorrow will be Friday. Take care, everyone.
Hurricane season is right around the corner, and the predictions are that the 2020 hurricane season will be busier than
All right,
normal,
guys.
with 16
Take care. I'll see you later. Subscribe if you're not subscribed.